You know why I'm fired up? And I'm going to say this as I say good morning to everybody. Get off their graveyard shift. If you're at work, getting ready for work, what is happening? Overnight dancers, janitors, plumbers, Big John out there at the water department got me fired up this morning at Starbucks. Also, Aaron was out there saying, Bonte, I'm a diehard. That was a big win. Just at the Starbucks, I said, you know what? I feel them because Farhan and that organization got crushed. But you know what, folks? You know what? With this team leading the wild card race. Yeah, I know they didn't make any trades. We're going to get into it all. I know they didn't bring in any reinforcements other than A.J. Pollock. Hell, I know they sent down Marco Luciano for A.J. Pollock. But those guys in that dugout, starting with the leadership of Brandon Crawford, Patrick Bailey coming up, throwing out guys at first base. That team, I don't give a damn what anybody says. They got a lot of heart. They have a lot of pride. And these youngsters, along with these journeymen, we're going to see what they do the last 2 months. But damn it, that's a good win. Down 3-0 to Zach Gallen and Brandon Crawford, the 2-run jack to tie it. Spadoni, I'm on fire this morning. I'm fired up.
You are fired up, man. Giants getting a big dub. Patrick Bailey saving Farhan Zaidi's legacy last night.
Late night Lamont. Come on.
Brandon Crawford, that was a fun win. Like say what you will about like the inactivity. It was gutsy. And the question is, how long is this going to last for the Giants? But right now, just enjoy it. You're enjoying this win with these young guys. And Patrick Bailey, say what you want. This is going to be the face of the franchise moving forward, I believe, in Patrick Bailey for the San Francisco Giants. This is the dude, Bonnie. It's not Casey Schmidt. It's not going to be Luciano. It's not going to be Doval, though he's sexy. He got a night off last night. Huge save for Sean Manaea. That was big time. Huge. It's going to be Patrick Bailey. And dare I say, Bonte Hill, we're already seeing the greatest defensive catcher in the history of the San Francisco
Giants.
Calm
down, dude.
I'm already saying it.
Just calm down. Calm down. Don't do this.
Since he has joined the league in the bigs.
Oh, I get it.
He's had more caught stealing than anyone. 6 more than the leader, who's Shea Langoliers.
I hear you. Let's not do this. He's played for 2 months. Let Buster Posey
I've already seen what I needed to see.
This guy may fall off the map and be in AAA next year. We don't know. Let it play out.
Is it the greatest defensive stretch you've seen?
No, Buster Posey won Gold Gloves. Are you kidding me?
Just one.
He should have had more. You know why he didn't win more?
Because Yadi
Molina was out there in St. Louis, and he got the sympathy Gold Gloves.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Patrick Bailey, since coming up, is already the best defensive catcher in baseball.
He might be. But look, before we compare to Buster Posey.
Future face of the franchise, I'm saying it, man.
Future face, we'll see, because you still got Marco Luciano. You still got Luis Matos.
This guy's been clutch.
Hey, Luis Matos, man. I know he's only batting 260. His eye, that at-bat in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Yeah.
You know, that at-bat. To get that double in the gap there, to give this Giants team life. Remember, they had a double play that inning. It was like, oh, boy, it's just not going to be their night. Yeah. What a dreadful day. No trades. The fan base is down on the whole organization. Farhan's Q rating is down, is at an all-time low. We'll get to Farhan and what they didn't do at the trade deadline and what they should have done at the trade deadline. I kind of agree with what they did at the trade deadline. Look, man, that 6th inning, let's just go through it play-by-play. J.D. Davis gets the single. All right, Jock, who they probably should have let. That's the guy. If you want to trade anybody, you trade his ass. To me, Jock does nothing. You telling me you're going to send down Marco Luciano for A.J. Pollock and keep Jock? I'd rather have just Marco DH. Just find a DH. Just get Jock out of here.
It was disappointing to see him get sent back down.
So he hits double play. Nobody on, 2 outs. Get Zach Gallen, bottom of the 6th. You're down 3-0. So Blake Sable goes up there, grinds out of the bat, and gets a single.
I like Sable.
Luis Matos, who look, man, I like me some Matos. 6-pitch at bat. He's grinding. He's down 1-2. He looks at a couple balls there, spits on them. Then he hits double to right center. I'm like, okay, now it's 2 outs. All right. Obviously Sable scores on the double because it's 2 outs and he's running on the pitch. So he scores all the way from first base. And then Brandon Crawford hitting that second pitch off of Zach Gallen, 420 feet to tie that baseball game up. That's a lot of pride. And Brett, I got some numbers on Brandon Crawford.
He's been clutch. Say what you will about his average this year, just batting 214, 286 on base percentage, 348 slugging. Not the best, but he's been clutch as hell. And that's what you need for a veteran. Putting the team on your back occasionally. That's what you got to do. And he's been doing it this season for them. When they needed it most, Brandon Crawford has stepped up. I will give him that.
Spadoni, listen to these numbers here from Brandon Crawford. I know he's been hurt. Yeah. The knees are messed
up.
The legs
man.
are messed up.
He's old.
But look at this. This season with runners in scoring position, Brandon Crawford's batting 364. 20-55, and his average with 2 outs with runners in scoring position, he's batting 370.
There you go.
veteran leadership.
That's clutch right there.
That's clutch right there. That's clutch for this baseball team. And it got life in that ballpark. And in the next inning, of course, off of Castro, Lamont Wade Jr., late night Lamont goes to right field, and he hits a solo shot. And boy, did he need it, Spadoni. Yeah. This team needed it. This fan base needed that shot in the arm. And now it's a 1-1 series. You got 2 more games left against the Diamondbacks. Let's see how it works. I don't know how they're going to get through August with this pitching staff. I don't know how they're going to get through August with this lineup. But you know what? The experience the youngsters are getting, the veteran leadership of a guy like Brandon Crawford. One thing you can't take away from this team, and we'll get to Farhan in a second. They got a lot of heart, Spadoni.
Yes.
They got a lot of pride, man. And they're grinding out games here as we get through the dog days of August.
And you got to win when your all-stars are pitching, right?
Yep.
Alex Cobb pitching last night. It was a quality start. 6 innings, 3 run, 4 hits, 4 Ks. That was solid. 3 home runs, not the best. But you know what? He grinded through it. Ryan Walker, that was impressive. That was gutsy.
That was gutsy.
And I'll give credit to Gabe Kapler going to Shamanai. I got nervous there, Bonte.
We all did.
I got nervous.
We all did.
Because what does Shamanai like to do? He gives up bombs.
We all got nervous.
He gives up bombs.
We all got nervous.
That was his first save in his career, by the way, for Shamanai.
No doubt.
So 2/3 of an inning there. So clutch there all around. And again, you got Logan Webb going back on the bump tonight. You got to win when your all-stars are pitching. Webb and Cobb, those are must-wins.
This is a must-win tonight for Logan Webb.
On August 2nd, it's a must-win.
Well, you know what? Bookmark a win like yesterday.
Yes.
Because think about the day. Think about how the day started.
It was a downer.
Everybody's crying about making a trade.
Yeah.
And I said, look, man, I don't know what you're going to sell off other than the Jock Peterson. What are you going to get back?
Yeah.
You're not getting a Verlander back for that. The Astros gave up one of their top prospects in single A.
Of course they get Verlander back.
Yeah, of course.
I just hate it. The AL West is so stacked. It's like, hey, Angels, they get Giolito, and then it's like, you know what? Rangers are going to go get Scherzer, and the Astros and Montgomery, and then the Astros go get Verlander, and then Valdez tosses a no-hitter against Cleveland yesterday. It's like, I hate it, man. They're so damn good.
They're so good. They're so good. But you know what? I don't know what the Giants were actually going to get for those low-level prospects. I mean, for big boys like that.
That's fair. They're trying to shop Joey Bart. They're trying to shop him. They couldn't get nothing.
But Joey Bart has no value.
None. It's pretty sad.
It is sad.
Yeah.
He's got no value whatsoever. So what do you expect to get? So 888-957-9570. Are you disappointed with the Giants for not doing nothing at the deadline? I'm not. I think you stay the course. You let the youngsters play. I know Luciano will be back up at some point. You let these guys play it through. You let Patrick Bailey play it through, and he's playing like an all-star behind the dish. No doubt. I'll give you that, Spadoni. That throw down to first base was an absolute seed. You can't run on the guy. You just can't. The experience Luis Matos is getting in a pennant race, folks, because that's what we're in now. Yeah. It's the last 2 months. It's a race to the finish line. The Giants right now lead the wild card race. Matos is getting experience. He is. Casey Schmidt, I know he's struggling at the plate. Man, I want him to hit. He needs a hit just for Joe Shasky's sake, for his mentals. But you know what? Let him stay with the big league club. Again, I said this earlier this season, Spadoni. Let him be around Brandon Crawford and learn how to be a pro. Learn how to be a pro. All right? So at the deadline, they do nothing. I'm not that upset about it, Spadoni. I'm really not.
Okay. Well, it helps when you get a win like that last night. I'll say that, because the narrative would have been a lot different had they lost that game.
Oh, boy.
You would have been at worst a split. You lose 2 heading into August now. It'd be massive. But they got the win. It was a huge dub. In a walk-off, pick-off attempt, there is something about that to me. And I think Bailey's done it multiple times this year where he's thrown a runner out at second or now throwing back to first and getting the pickoff. Like, there is something special about walking off and doing like that. I know it's kind of weird. We also had a balk-off in the league last night. The Mets losing on a balk-off to the Royals. Like, just thinking of ways to lose games, a pick-off and a balk-off. Just funny things. Shout out to Balkoff, former goalie for the San Jose Sharks, getting all over the place here. But it was fun last night, and it was a vibe. Like, it wasn't the biggest packed crowd. It was Tuesday.
Oh,
it was cold.
It was nasty.
It was nasty. It was cold in the East Bay. It was just chilly all around. And I love it, by the way. I can deal with the 50-degree weather. But it was loud still. It was loud. They were showing out last night at Oracle, and it was fun.
You know, I was watching the pregame show with Laura Britt, Sean SS, and Carlos Ramirez.
Doing a hell of a job.
Hell of a job. And they zoomed in on that crowd to start. I said, oh, boy.
It's chilly.
Well, nah, I didn't think that. I go, this fan base is down on the organization. There's nobody there. It's a big game against the Diamondbacks.
It is. It's a Tuesday, though. Tuesday nights are...
But it's a Tuesday. Alex Cobb against Zach Gallen.
Okay.
That crowd, to me, when I watched the opening shot, I said, oh, boy, that's a protest of Farhan Zaidi and his organization for not doing anything. Because everybody's down on Farhan.
Okay.
Everybody. And even me. But I do agree with him, Spinodi, that not making a move just to make a move was the smart play. You got to keep building this farm system up. And when you sign guys like Mania and Stripling and Jock Peterson and you tie your money up, as well as Mitch Henniger, who is coming back at the end of the month, Flim told us that yesterday, that kind of ties you up. That puts your hands behind your back and you say, you know what, I really can't do anything.
Yeah.
And that's where my frustration with Farhan Zaidi is. At the deadline, does it scream that, hey, he's not going for it? I think you got to play the course with this team, man. I really do.
It was interesting because Dan Dibley of Willard and Dibs yesterday doing a hell of a job from 2 to 6. He had this interesting quote, and it came along my timeline. And he's like, quote, Farhan Zaidi does not believe in this team is good enough. I butchered it. Farhan Zaidi does not believe this team is good enough to win the World Series. If you really believed in this team, you would add to it. That's him talking about the lack of production at the trade deadline. Do you believe in that? Because it is, I mean, in fairness to Farhan Zaidi, is this team like just a pitcher or two away from winning World Series? I made the argument yesterday that they could make a run, but Sam Lubman and I were talking before the show here, producer extraordinaire and host of Garlic Fries and Baseball Guys, doing a hell of a job, Sam Lubman. But he was saying, and he was talking with Alex Pavlich yesterday, who covers the team for NBC Sports Bay Area, that, you know, Farhan's from that Billy Bean school of thought that if you get into the playoffs, it's a crapshoot.
It is.
Like, so maybe from that perspective, like, hey, listen, maybe we can go on a run, but also if we get in a series against the Spencer Striders of the world and Max Frieds of the world, maybe it's not going to go well. But at the same time, just give yourself a shot, right?
I've seen the Giants beat up on Spencer Strider.
Okay.
I've seen them beat up on them. And you never know what, on any given day with this lineup, with the way they platoon everybody and play the matchups, the Braves back into the bullpen, I'm not that high on them.
Okay.
I'm not. Now, they're loaded. They are loaded. I mean, Matt Olson's having an MVP type season.
Oh, who would have saw that coming? Interesting.
I mean, yeah,
you'd like to keep the guys like a Matt Olson and Sean Murphy or Marcus Semien, you know? Those are good players.
I mean, but he's not going to win the MVP because Ronald Acuna Jr. is on his team, and he's probably going to steal the MVP. I mean,
literally steal it. No pun intended or pun intended. There you go.
Yeah, I mean,
guys got 50 of them.
But listen. I mean, you never know what happens in the playoffs, but you got to get there. You got to get there. We see this team. We saw this team sweep the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium earlier this season.
Yeah.
We didn't see that coming.
First time in what?
In a long
time.
In a long time. Now, would I like to see them get a pitcher? Absolutely. But for what people were asking for and what you're trying to do for the long-term future, I just don't, like, are you going to trade? Are you really Giants fans? 888-957-9570. Do you still want to trade Kyle Harrison for that pitcher? Do you want to trade Wisenhut for that pitcher? You're not going to get anything for DeSclafani. You're not going to get anything for Sean Manaea. You're not going to get anything for Ross Stripling. You just need those guys to pitch better. They have to pitch. And you know what? Sean Manaea's credit. Last 2 outings for him.
Clutch.
I'm surprised.
Yes.
I'm surprised.
Well, yeah, I've seen a lot of his games in Oakland. He does like to give up that long bomb, and him getting that save yesterday coming for Ryan Walker, who, again, did a great job in relief of Alex Cobb. It was impressive. But I think the question's going to ultimately be answered in the offseason, Bonte, when it comes to Farhan Zaidi. He's going to have to, nut up or shut up during this trade deadline or past the trade deadline to the free agency period come hot stove time, because that was it. We were so down on him at the start of the season. We were. That the only thing we were looking forward to is, can we just get some young guys? Yeah. Because if you're not going to get the big boys and the Judges and Correas, I'm going to need to see it with the Matoses, with the Lucianos, with the Harrells, the Baileys. And we're seeing it now. We are seeing it.
I'm cool with that.
But you're going to need to add on top of that at some point. Ultimately, you're going to become a contender if you get another big boy through a trade or through free agency, I believe.
Lubman, another young guy's Ryan Walker, right?
Yeah.
Ryan Walker's a young guy.
I'll give him,
He's been pitching in some big games. He's getting some experience
Tristan Beck, I'll give him credit for that one.
Tristan Beck.
Okay.
Camilo Duvall's getting a lot of run.
I will give him credit.
I'm not mad at that. We're seeing the youngsters here. And the great thing about these youngsters is they're able to partake in a pennant race.
Yes.
In a race to the playoffs.
That is
They're
big
getting
experience.
A lot of experience here. And where the moment's not too big here. I'm telling you, man, that win last night was very impressive to me. To be down 3-0 against the National League All-Star starter, Zach Gallen, who was just being filthy. I mean, he had them befuddled. They couldn't do anything. They were lifeless.
I'm a big Zach Gallen guy.
I like Zach Gallen a lot.
He's got the look. He's got the swag. He's got the glasses.
Zach Gallen.
Like, the glasses always remind me of Gagne. Like, no one pulled him off like Eric Gagne, but Zach Gallen, he's going to win me back with the specs.
To get the single, and when Jock hit that double play in the bottom of the 6th, I said, gosh, this is going to be ugly. Tomorrow's show is going to be nasty. And then get the single for Blake Sable. You get the double for Luis Matos to score Sable. You get the 2-run homer for Brandon Crawford. I said, even Anna goes, oh my God, I can't believe they tied it. I said, me either. And then the next inning, you get Lamont Wade Jr., and you could feel the juice through the Bay Area when it came to this Giants team last night. You could feel the juice saying, all right, They're still fighting. They're still showing some heart. Now let's get to Logan Webb Day.